a pretty good comeback. It's like, hey, it's obvious that you are very high functioning because you have time to get on the internet and literally yell and scream about how offended you are by everything. You clearly are one of us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was obviously a parent who is not on the spectrum,
right,
and is like, yes, you clearly are. You have joined society. You are just fine because you do what the rest of us do: get online and argue and complain about being offended.
Oh my gosh.
So you are just fine.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great comeback. I mean, and pretty accurate too.
But you know what I mean? Like somebody like that is a grown person that's possibly married now with kids and high functioning could be a person that is complaining about the puzzle piece, but maybe their parents didn't have to deal with any of the issues we're dealing with.
All right, before we talk about the controversy of this autism puzzle piece, this graphic that we use on one of our logos for the podcast, before we talk about that, I want to talk about how yesterday was almost Melissa's last day on Earth. And how the podcast almost ended at episode 39.
Oh, my gosh.
And then a quick update, too, on yesterday if Cal actually went to school. The day before, he refused to go to school. Melissa had to bring him back home, settle him down, and then take him back to school. So updates on that. But first, my God, yesterday I thought that was it. I thought it was over. And your worst fear on Earth, leaving Cal so young.
Oh, my God, I know, right?
And it all flashes before your eyes.
Yeah, it could have been really bad. You want me to say what happened?
Yeah.
I was leaving to go to the store, and I got in my car and put my car in reverse. And then I rolled down my window because Mark started talking to me. And then I'm deathly afraid of bees. For whatever reason, I've always been afraid of bees.
A little honeybee. Just a little nice honeybee.
This bee flew in and landed on my pants. I immediately freak out, so I jump out of my car to get this bee off me.
Which is in reverse.
Which I didn't realize. So then Mark yelled, Melissa, and then I realized my car was rolling down the driveway. The door's open. I jump in really quick, put the car in, I press the brake and put the car in park, and I was like panicking. I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack. And these old people that were walking their dog.
These poor people. You thought you were going to have a heart attack? You should have seen their faces.
Oh, my God. This all happened so fast. But I'm like, literally, I could have got ran over. I could have ran the people over. A car could have been coming. Oh, my God. It was awful.
And they're older people. They have a routine. They walk the same time every day.
Yes.
And they had no idea what they were in store for yesterday when they started walking. And not to mention, you left out the part where you're screaming crazily, like screaming.
Yes, but I just can't believe I forgot my car was in reverse because I started panicking over this bee. I can't even believe what that would have looked like. Me jumping back in the car to stop the car. It was ridiculous.
Oh, I was thinking to myself too. I was like, so the car runs you over, you're dead. The police come and they're like, so tell us what happened. I'm like, they're not going to believe that story.
I know. You told me that, and I'm like, oh, my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Especially if no one would have saw.
Yeah, they're going to be like, wait, so let me get this right. So this bee flies in your wife's car. She freaks out, jumps out. Car's in reverse. She gets hit by her own car and dies. And you just sat there and watched it. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say because that's exactly what happened. They're going to be like, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
That would be awful.
Yeah, sort of.
Yes,
yeah, sort of. That'd sort of be a bad day for everybody. You know what I mean? That'd be a tough one for all of us.
Oh, my gosh. I learned that I should not freak out over bees.
That is something you need to learn.
Yes.
Of everything going on in life and just the world, too, just everything, you can't let that happen. A bee and everything like that.
Bye.
It's just crazy. Oh, thanks. Later.
I did the coffee. No, I had jeans on that had rips in them. And so I immediately think, if I don't get this bee off me, it's going to go in one of my holes.
Oh, God.
That's where my mind goes.
I know. But even like when we're in the pool, like she just starts freaking out, waving her hands wildly and screaming. And of course, I mean, the bees are like, oh, well, wait, now I'm a little concerned. Let me see what's going on. I'm like, just let it go. Just let it go.
No, I'm that person that's at a restaurant and a bee comes and lands like on the table. And I'm waving my arms just like that.
Oh, yeah. And she gets them running around, screaming, everything like that. Almost killed her yesterday.
I cannot help it, but I'm going to try to not freak out over bees.
That's that's her new goal. Melissa's new goal is to not freak out over bees. All right, I want to get to this message I got yesterday on LinkedIn. And by the way, you can link to all of our social channels on dailyautism.com. Go to dailyautism.com. Facebook's there, Instagram there. If you want to watch the reels, our emails there, and all of that stuff. Dailyautism.com, and you can link to our social channels there. So I get this going back and forth with some people on LinkedIn, really like I do every day. Just cool people out there associated with autism in the space one way or another. And I get a message from a woman yesterday. Really nice message. I mean, long message about a bunch of things that we discussed on the podcast and how she's in the space of autism. And she goes, hey, by the way, you may catch some heat for your podcast logo. And I'm like, really? I was like, that's it's just a picture of me and my family and Cal. Like, I mean, what's wrong? She's like, oh, no, it's not about that. She's like, that autism puzzle piece. She's like, it's getting kind of crazy. Some people are getting really upset. And I'm like, well, upset about what? And she goes, well, high functioning autistic people, a lot of them are offended by that puzzle piece. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I start doing like some research on it, of course, which is like the worst thing to do late at night. Cause it's like, you're just like, you find this, you find that, you're truly down the conspiracies and everything, the rabbit hole and everything like that. Turns out there is like an emerging swell of people who are angry about the puzzle piece.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'll say this. Cal loves the puzzle piece. Like, we have things with it on, and he thinks it's cool.
He does. He likes the puzzle piece. I even got a tattoo.
You have
for
him because of everything, that he goes through, that you go through, we go through, and everything like that.
Yes.
So it's now, again, here's the interesting part. You go on these different websites and different, social media platforms and stuff. There's not like one consistent reason why, although high-functioning adults are saying that they don't want to be looked at as missing something or not being able to perform the way that other people can just because they're autistic. And that is the primarily that's the reason why there's anger growing towards the puzzle piece.
I don't take the puzzle piece like that.
How do you
I take the puzzle piece as, they say you're on the spectrum. I take the puzzle piece as you're just part of the puzzle, and like a high functioning's at one end and a low functioning's at the other end. And then there's people in the middle. It's just all part of the puzzle. Yeah.
Here's the, so I'm on a blog about it, and it talks about that the most recognized use of the puzzle piece is through the organization Autism Speaks, which is probably the most recognized organization with autism. And, they make a good thing, like NBA coaches in April, because they do the Autism Walks thing.
Yeah.
They'll actually wear the puzzle piece during the games.
Right.
I've seen some NFL players and coaches wear it on their cleats, the autism puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Autism Speaks, they've done that I Am Autism advertisement, which that was all over TV and online. But yeah, they said that the main reason is that, promoting the mentality that autistic people are incomplete or a missing puzzle piece, and it treats autism as a disease that needs to be treated or cured. And high functioning people don't want to be looked at as that. And that's where the controversy is starting to grow. I mean, I couldn't honestly believe it when she told me that. And then she went on to say that they more prefer like the spectrum of colors, like all the colors kind of like washed together. You've seen that too for autism. But yeah, that's not necessarily identifiable for autism. Like, I see that, and I see like a bunch of different things in that. I don't see autism.
Well, I really hope they don't take that away. I like the puzzle piece, and it does mean something to me. I have a little puzzle piece with a blue heart, because blue's supposed to be the color of autism.
Yeah.
I was told.
Yeah, no, and they talk about that there, how Autism Speaks and the blue puzzle piece.
Yeah.
They kind of made that, their thing, made it famous, I guess, in a bunch of their marketing and advertising and stuff like that. So,
I talked to you about this last night. I think it's hard for a high-functioning person to be mad and decide that when maybe you and your family haven't dealt with the struggles that other people like us and other people that have dealt with autism. You know?
but so somebody high-functioning is going to say, well, I am high-functioning. Like I do have autism, and so I think the battle is from their perspective is, well, you don't get to tell me. But then your perspective is, well, you don't get to tell me, even though I don't have autism, I'm caring for someone who is and is not high functioning. It really is it's going to be a ridiculous thing. You can kind of see where this is going.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so I guess one of the other kind of branches of controversy on this is that Autism Speaks has before called autism a disease, and it says that they are looking for cures and therapies. And so that upset some high functioning people. You know what I was thinking though? We briefly talked about this last night. So if you're high functioning and you're like, okay, I don't want to be called, a missing puzzle piece or a disease or someone with a disease or whatever. Like, what if you had a sticker that said F autism?
Oh yeah, you said this. Yeah.
Do you think people would freak out?
Yeah, because they would take it the wrong way.
Yeah, because I see F cancer everywhere. Everywhere.
Right.
So, but then are people going to say, well, one's a disease, but one is not. But though, some cancers you can get from genes. Like they actually do gene tests now for cancer.
No, you had a good point, but I think there's people that are going to be mad about everything.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, I just went through this for 10 years or 20 years with my football team. With, there was like a very small group of people that were mad. They were called the Redskins. And so, all this time, everybody fights for years and years and years. And finally they change the name and whatever. I mean, nobody's lives really change, but it's just like they spend all the time arguing. But this is like, I really couldn't believe it when she said it. And so I'm diving in deep now. And I'm sort of like, gosh, this is really getting insane. But I want to go back to like the F cancer thing. So if you say F cancer, and you see it online, you see it on people's cars. There are walks with thousands of people wearing the shirts F cancer.
Right.
Right. So is somebody with cancer not the same as somebody with autism?
I mean, you're both struggling with something, right?
Maybe the debate would be, well, we're trying to kill cancer that's inside of you. So maybe I could understand that. But when you have autism, you're not trying to kill the autism inside of you. But you are trying to do therapies to alleviate what happens with autism, like what it causes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think that if you said F autism, people would take it as like you're saying it to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
that was very loud.
Autism causes things, though, that we don't like. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Oh, it's very hard.
Yeah, I mean,
we've talked about this before. Like Cal is a beautiful child. He's amazing. But autism to me is not a beautiful thing. It's very hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess if you could pick to have it or not have it, or have your kid have it or not, but wouldn't everyone just pick no? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I mean I guess they say cure. I mean, they're trying to figure out how it becomes.
Well, the cure is upsetting people because, the more I read about it, because if you're high functioning and you're like, well, what do I need to be cured about? I'm actually like, I'm functioning. I'm in life. I'm in society. I'm contributing. But then there are parents that go, but not everybody is. So why are you the spokesperson for autism?
Exactly.
Like, who made you the spokesperson for autism? Maybe you could be the spokesperson for you and your high functioning autism, but how can you tell... Oh, I don't know. I'll pick a couple of exhausted parents with 5 kids, one on the spectrum and not high functioning, how they should feel or what logo they should. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then I'm like saying it's not fair.
Yeah, I know. It turns you into like you almost start playing the game, right? Yeah, that's where all this like culture crisis and stuff starts to really just like rear its ugly head, and it's like a shame. But I also think too, if you have rolled around for 20 years, 25 years. And said that not all autism's the same. It's all about being unique and your own self and your own story. Then don't say that one puzzle piece is offensive to everybody with autism. Because you roll around for 2 or 3 decades talking about how it's all different. Not one thing represents you. It's, your self story and all that stuff. So you can't turn around and then say, oh, nope, cancel. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But every kid is different.
Yeah.
And there is no one way to fix this.
Right. I would say from our experience,
or help it, I should say.
and I suppose I'm the only one qualified to talk about my experience, just like you're the only one qualified to talk about your experience and everybody else and their experience. The puzzle piece is just great for us. It makes sense for us. And actually, it's very accurate for us. So we like it.
I love it.
Yeah. So I think that's the way I looked at it is I guess I'll just let me try to like take the puzzle piece and let me see how it this works fits into our story, and it fits really quite well. It actually works really good. It's cool, and I kind of like it. And I think your tattoo's awesome.
It is cool.
I'm actually getting one.
My tattoo, this means so much to me because this has changed our lives forever.
You should post it again on Facebook and Instagram, just because.
Yeah, I should.
You've had it for a year now.
Yeah,
almost.
I got it last year on my birthday.
Yeah.
But Cal does like it, and he is affected with all this different stuff that we're dealing with every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a lot to me.
I couldn't believe it. And by the way, the message that I got, and I won't say who sent it to me, but really nice lady and really nice comments about the podcast in general and some of our social media stuff. So that was really nice of her. And thanks for bringing it up because it was really interesting just to kind of see it. But once I did research, I just realized that there are some people that the puzzle piece doesn't work for. Yet that just can't mean that those specific individuals get to speak for everybody else affected by autism because it is such a different and unique thing. So it was just kind of an interesting exploration. There's conflicts in everything.
There definitely is. And I could say it's not fair too.
Sure.
Because I like it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great and it works for us. And if it doesn't work for you, then the good thing is there's a lot of other symbols that you can use for autism that works and it may work better for you.
Exactly.
But what I can't find though is like people with children who are really having a hard time functioning, getting angry and offended by this. I just can't find that.
They also don't have time.
Yeah, that's very true.
They're exhausted and they can really care less.
Well, I read something on one of the comments on this thing, and it was a pretty good comeback. It's like, hey, it's obvious that you are very high functioning because you have time to get on the internet and literally yell and scream about how offended you are by everything. You clearly are one of us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was obviously a parent who is not on the spectrum,
right.
And is like, yes, you clearly are. You have joined society. You are just fine because you do what the rest of us do: get online and argue and complain about being offended.
Oh my gosh.
So you are just fine.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great comeback. I mean, and pretty accurate too.
But you know what I mean? Like somebody like that is a grown person that's possibly married now with kids and high functioning could be a person that is complaining about the puzzle piece, but maybe their parents didn't have to deal with any of the issues we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because they're high functioning and Cal isn't.
Or, I was thinking too, maybe they did. And maybe you're one of the really, really lucky ones. Maybe your parents did such a great job, were so aggressive with therapy, got done early. And you know what? Maybe they found your missing puzzle piece. Maybe it did all fit together.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to look at it.
And that's awesome. That's great. God, I hope one day Cal is to the age where he goes, don't ever associate me with that puzzle piece. I hope he says it. Like, I hope he gets to that point. You know what I mean? The fact that like you can even realize that there is a controversy or there's whatever you want to call it. Like the fact that you can realize that, you're doing pretty good. Like the fact that you're not in that fog of like where you even know what a controversy is, that you even know what it's like to be offended by something, like you're doing good.
Yeah. Well, that is true.
Yeah. So,
and there's so many different ways to look at the puzzle piece, but I mean, it's a logo.
I'm just, like I said, I decided last night, I was like, I'm just going to look at it and how it works for me and fits in our little puzzle, and it works just great. It's fantastic.
Yes.
And we really like it. So, but I really appreciate the email and the heads up. But that is the first time I'd ever heard of that. But if you go online, you do see, you do see. But it kind of just fits into, ever since kind of 2020, it just, God, you can come out with, we were doing the comparisons to cancer. God, you could probably cure cancer, and somebody get angry about something. But I knew somebody would say when I compared it to that, well, this is different. You could have the genes and everything. I'm like, yeah, well, you can have cancer genes too. And they're doing a lot of work with that now, where they're actually testing kids who may have the genes their parents did who got cancer.
Oh, wow.
So, I just thought it was interesting how, like, one is all about, like, love, unity, support, and as it should be. But then the other one is just, F cancer, but then maybe it's just because you're trying to kill cancer, but you're obviously not trying to kill autism. But yes, you are trying to kill the effects and characteristics of autism. I mean, that is what the therapy's for.
Right.
Like, it's what it does. It takes away those aspects. So it's just kind of crazy and weird, but
it is weird.
Yeah.
But read a new article. There's like 102 genes related to autism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same.
Well, and people say, like, look, please don't say that, they're looking for a cure or something for autism. And I guess I sort of get that. But I got to tell you, if Cal's pediatrician called tomorrow and said, we just found a quote-unquote cure for autism, and if he comes and takes a shot, all of those characteristics will go away. I'd be like, we'll be there in 5 minutes. I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't know that I want to deal with, like, him reaching into his diaper for, I don't know, the rest of his life, like, if I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If, like, he gets overwhelmed and bites himself, I just would rather it not. It hurts him. It hurts his arm, and it hurts us when he does it. We feel bad.
It hurts us.
Yeah. Like, not being able to, like, walk around a pool with us or the beach without being, like, completely stressed out and my stomach in knots. Yeah, if I could get away from all that, I would just pick that,
Right.
And I think that's okay too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I say I love Cal more than the world itself? But if I could make things easier on him, I would do it. I think that's all right.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
And it's truly, like, it is a very hard thing. And for us, like, with the I don't know what to say, not the symptoms, but the things that he does. And it's hard for our kids. So, yes, if you could take it all away, you would.
I absolutely would.
Right.
Yeah. If the whole thing could go away, it would be okay with me.
Well, even like Trey said, it's sad that I have a little brother, but I can't just go out in the front yard and throw the football with him. And it's true.
Yeah. We are working on that with him.
And maybe one day
Yeah.
he'll be able to. But right now is the time that Trey's like, okay, he's old enough. I'm old enough. You know what I mean?
There's a quote in one of my law classes, and this isn't exact, but it's pretty much from where you sit is where you stand. And it makes sense. I mean, just say it to yourself. From where you sit is where you stand. The idea is like, where you are in your daily life that's where you will stand on issues. That's where you will have that perspective. Where you sit is where you stand. And so that's kind of what I thought about with this. It was like, well, in our life, from where we are, that's just how we look at the puzzle piece. You know? So I kind of get it. Yesterday, so the day before yesterday, you took Cal to school. He started crying, would not get out of the car, so you had to bring him home. That was the first time ever he had done that.
Right. Real tears, not just like a regular meltdown.
So you bring him back home, and he calms down. He goes back to school. He's still not happy, but you got him inside, and then the staff and the therapist were able to get him to school, and then I think he was okay after that.
Right.
So yesterday was like, okay, is this a new routine where he's going to go to school, want to come back home, then go back to school? Yesterday you took him to school. That had to be the longest ride ever, wondering if he's going to get out of the car. It was the longest ride for me, and I was riding to another school with other kids. Like, I was like, oh, my God, what's going on? And it was...
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how strange and crazy this is.
Yeah, that's the puzzle piece, man.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, he is perfectly fine. He did a little, like little whining, but he was fine. No meltdown, no crying, and no mention of shoes. Nothing.
Yeah, his new shoes,
fine.
we think were kind of the catalyst for this, which he really likes, but apparently he wasn't ready to go to school in his new shoes. His ABA therapist is not working this week, so couple that with the new shoes and a lot of other things, and so it's just been a week of, there's been like a lot of new things and a lot of quick, unforeseen transitions this week.
Yes.
Which is weighed on all of us, as it should. That's the point, right? We all got to do this together. So
just extra patience and calmness,
Yeah, I was worried that this was going to be a thing. This was like the new thing, but it wasn't the new thing.
And thank God. But who knows what today brings?
Oh, I was just going to say, but
you just really can't prepare yourself.
No, I was just going to say, it's almost like we're talking and he's listening, and he's like, "Oh,
I forgot.
Thank you. I did forget to melt down in the school parking lot, and for you to immediately chauffeur me back to the house.
Oh my gosh, which I don't have time for every day.
Well, you have clients today, right?
I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you don't.
I actually have to get ready.
Yeah, you can't do it today either. So
No, if he had a meltdown, he just has to go to the front office or something. They're gonna have to get the behavioral specialist.
Okay. All right, so that's it today. Like I said, you can message us or get on the social channels, watch the videos at dailyautism.com. All the links are there. Also, podcast links, as this podcast is on more and more platforms. God, there must be a million podcast platforms. I see why people say now, get us everywhere you get podcasts. Because, my God, if you tried to sit there and list all of them, you would just be doing that, for 15 minutes.
I know.
So on all the spots where you get your podcasts.
And I will take a picture of my tattoo and post it on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, and like I said, link to all that at dailyautism.com. The email's there, the messages are there. And, there, I did find the toll-free number, but I just got to get it all activated and everything. So soon people will be able to leave audio comments, and then we'll play the comments on the podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just feedback. So maybe we were saying today about the puzzle piece. Maybe you really agree. Maybe you had no idea that there was a controversy. Maybe you think it's ridiculous. Maybe you think we're ridiculous. So you could call and leave a comment and then play it back. And then I just think that's such an important part of podcasting that really, I said it the other day, that's where podcasters really get short-sighted and fall off, was actually having feedback and reviews, but by their voices, not just, reading some words.
Right.
Actually having the people discuss.
And then tomorrow is Funyuns Friday.
Oh, and we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah, Cal. So his favorite thing is Funyuns for breakfast. So we're going to give away a bag of Funyuns tomorrow. So get on the social channels or share those at least with someone that, maybe autism, they're dealing with autism, whether they like puzzle pieces or not. You can share it with them. And Funyuns Friday, first day tomorrow. I'm excited to give away a big bag of Funyuns.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, dailyautism.com. That's how you link to all that.